everybody, it's Gabriel. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to BBX Nutshell to BBX Nutshell. So today's episode we're going to be talking about episodes 6 through 10. So let's get into it. Episode 6, Lion's Jungle, goes over Team Persona going into Lion's Jungle, the zoo that is the base sponsor for Team Zuganic. Basically, just a bit of a way for the viewers to see how Team Zuganic works. I like the moments that we had for Bird and Multi specifically because Bird and Multi were just so cute in this episode. It's like Bird was very nervous on holding the camera for Multi petting the rabbit, and she just looks so happy. Bird looks like a nervous boyfriend, just like shaking the cameras ever so slightly. Or ever so jittery because he's so nervous. Because, yeah. Then we get some small introductions to Team Zuganic and its members. So like Toguro with the little snake that he has around his neck, but he doesn't have it in battle. He doesn't wear the snake as like a jewelry piece in battle. He just wears it when he's in Lion's Jungle. And then we see Jean Strong or Chopin pushing back a rhino, which is really interesting to show how strong she is. Because rhinos aren't pushovers of animals. They're pretty strong, and seeing that a literal child is able to push back a rhino, probably the rhino's probably holding back, but we don't know. But so Jean Strong's just pushing it. It's very interesting. Then we get to an introduction to the leader, Titus Manji, which he walks out of like a little cave with the lion that is sort of resembling his base avatar of the lion. And Titus or King calls Team Persona down as he sees them on the top area. And King basically intimidates them, saying that they don't seem too strong of a team. And they basically just play, oh, we're gonna beat you tomorrow, we're gonna be so strong. And that's basically episode 6. Episode 6 was basically just a build-up episode more than a actual pushing the story forward episode. So let's get on to episode 7. Episode 7, Team Zuganic, is a pretty good episode because we just go through the motions of the standard battle between Zuganic and Persona. First battle we have is Toguro versus Multi. And we have Viper Tail versus Wizard Arrow. Obviously she wouldn't pick Night Shield because Night Shield's a defense type. And Stamina versus defense types, Stamina types always win. So Multi wanted to counteract that with using Wizard Arrow, another Stamina type, in hopes to try and beat him. Spoiler alert, he did, but let's talk about the battle. Toguro definitely had a big head in these episodes, because in this episode specifically, because he was thinking that, oh, he's so clever, thinking that he was able to outsmart Multi by having her pick out her Stamina type, Wizard Arrow. But Multi had it in the bag already because she already thought ahead and was able to figure out a plan on how to beat Toguro. And Toguro obviously loses because it's to Persona, obviously. And then we move on to the second battle, which is Jean Strong or Chopin versus Bird. And right off the bat, if you watch the episode, you could see how strong Jean Strong is, or Chopin is, because her hand has veins popping out of it because of how strong and how hard she's holding her launcher, which is a brutal display of her strength. But as the battle goes on, we see that she doesn't just hold her launcher strong, she launches strong, as it's like Rhino Horn dropping onto the stadium is like you're dropping a heavy metal bucket onto the stadium, which kind of shakes it a little bit. And the strength doesn't go unseen, as Bird was like, ugh, as if it was like, oh my goodness, this little girl is so strong. And obviously, in Bird fashion, he loses. After doing an extreme dash, aiming for Rhino Horn, Rhino Horn just straight up tanks it, knocks it up into the air, and bursts Hell's Scythe. Like, wow, just wow, Bird. But, yeah, I can't really blame it. Let's move on to the next episode. Moving on to episode 8, The Mask and the King, I think is what his name was. The name was. But basically, this episode has 2 battles, both with the same bladers: King versus Common X. The first battle ended in a tie. Basically, what happened in the battle was that Titus and Common X were on the same wavelength. They were both attacking each other. They were both pretty much in sync. Then Common X tried to go for an extreme dash, but King already read this move and went behind Drained Sword. And Leon Claw went behind Drained Sword. They clashed on the extreme line, and they kept clashing until a big impact with both Leon Claw and Drained Sword collided together and made like a big explosion type thing for that X arena. And it shows that both bays were knocked out at the same exact time, simultaneous finish. Wow. Second battle, Titus actually switches up his battle technique. In fact, he doesn't launch diagonally, he doesn't launch at an angle, he launches straight down, which puts his bay in the center of the stadium, because Leon Claw's a balance type and he wanted to get like the best advantage. So Drained Sword kept attacking Leon Claw, and it seemed like he was about to lose. But because it was Exu, or Common X, obviously he had to get a way to win. So he just went around the extreme line again, just brute forced his way through. And yeah, that's basically just what happened in the episode. He just brute forced his way through that battle. He brute forced that way and extreme finished the Young Claw, winning Team Persona the battle. And that's basically episode 8. Now let's move on to episode 9. Episode 9 is a more character building episode, but introduces us to Hell's Chain. Because Multi wants to make a bay that's catered to Bird's specific abilities, and the fact that you could switch out the bit or switch out any part of the stock combo to make it either a defensive balance type or an attack-based balance type. And honestly, it was nice seeing Bird helping Multi as she tries to get Hell's Chain done, like making rice balls for her just so she didn't have to use her fingers, or she could only use the fingers. I don't know what happened in the context of the episode. I tried to rewatch it, but I just wanted to get the gist of the episode and not really do like a full comprehensive analysis of it. But basically, that's what happened in the episode. Then afterwards, after Multi made Hell's Chain, we saw a quick test battle with Multi using Hell's Scythe, and obviously because it's Bird, as I said in like 2 episodes ago, or like the other episode beforehand, Bird has to lose. Bird loses to Hell's Scythe, his own Beyblade no less. But yeah, that's expected for Bird. But Bird gets a newfound fan base because, you know, people are interested in seeing Hell's Chain because of how new it is and what it could do. Now let's move on to episode 10. Episode 10 starts us off in Mountain Ramen. Mountain Ramen is Team Phalanx's base sponsor, and it shows that they're kind of struggling because of how much Team Phalanx is winning. And Team Phalanx is just expected to win the entire time. Kind of like Team Persona, but they don't really have much flair to them, which is why the sales are declining. And basically, while Takumi and the boss of Mountain Ramen are like having a bit of discourse, the boss gets a notification on his phone that Team Phalanx is going to be battling Team Persona. So then we get the counter of the episode. Common X is basically pretty excited that they're going to be battling Team Phalanx again, but Multi and Miss Myoden or Mako Maiden want to stay on their toes, so they're just going to have Common X be their first forefront later, because this match isn't like any other match. It's more of a knockout match. So obviously they have a lot more at stake here. So that's why they want to throw Common X out there just so that they can win every battle. But they're not too worried if Common X loses, because they don't think Common X is going to lose. Then we see a little bit of a moment of Team Phalanx training a little bit, with Baraki asking Takumi if he's okay because he seems a little tense. But Takumi just brushes it off, saying that today's a knockout match, and he's just dead set on defeating Common X and Sword Drain. Little do we know, Sword Drain or Drain Sword is going to be the one that's going to be battling. Isn't going to be one that's going to be battling today. But you'll see after a little bit. Before I go on with that, we then see Team Persona walking to the stage, but Bird overhears a conversation with the Boston Mountain Ramen and Takumi. The Boston Mountain Ramen basically says that he doesn't really like the Team Persona's team because they're sponsored by an unknown sushi place, but everyone is still clamoring to go there because Team Persona is the hottest team right now, and it's dragging in more customers for them. So we basically still only hear that part of the conversation. So yeah, moving onwards, we have the match, and obviously we have Common X going up, as I said earlier, for Team Persona. But the thing is, he's not using Dran's sword. He's using Dran Dagger, which is at the shock of the entire Bay Arena and Team Phalanx, since Team Phalanx has only done research on Dran's sword. So why are we bringing out Dran Dagger? This is because Multi actually planned this, hearing the knockout match, and was like, how do we boost our likes? How do we boost our engagement? Introduce a new Bay in the knockout match. Which, yes, it did cause a lot more uproar, and was a lot more devastating for Team Phalanx, because unbeknownst to them, they haven't prepared for this. They only prepared for Sword Dran, and they haven't prepared to battle what is essentially the most powerful Bay made in existence. Because in the first two battles, with Baraki and Genri, when they were trying to get data for Takumi to see how Dran Dagger battles, they both get decimated with one hit and just another one hit. It's actually crazy. Then we move on to Takumi's match against Common X, and he has definitely improved. The first two extreme dashes, he's able to block off the power, and it seems like Takumi's gonna win. But nope. Common X and Dran Dagger have a little surprise in the fact that they can do infinite amounts of extreme dashes. This will be important later. But Common X and Dran Dagger are able to go infinitely for many amount of times, and honestly, it's so interesting to see that Dran Dagger is just spinning like it's like taunting Stone Mont Blanc because of how much stamina it has. Then we see Common X go for the third extreme dash, and absolutely blows away Team Phalanx, or Stone Mont Blanc specifically. And we see Takumi's face as the shield withers away. Honestly, it was a nice shot to see, but to be honest, I'm going to be transparent here. I don't know why I said the same thing similar twice, but this episode was honestly a fun to watch because just seeing Common X blast through Team Phalanx again was just a fun watch. Then we see Bird feel sorry for Team Phalanx because they lost and probably gonna lose their sponsor. But Multi kind of gives a bit of a bad answer, saying that, would you want their sympathy if we were the ones that lost today? Which, honestly, it's understandable, but still kind of a dick move, because I feel like Multi should have been a little more sympathetic, similar to, because they could have been facing the same thing. They could have been facing the same thing. They could have been like, they lost, and they had, and after that battle, they would have thought that Team Persona wasn't worth sponsoring anymore for Komama Sushi, so they just decided to kick them off. So I don't know, but I feel like that response from Multi feels a little more like a backhanded insult. But anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. That's episodes 6 through 10 reviewed in this episode of Beyblade X Nutshell. Here's what I'm gonna say beginning with episode 3. I feel like you guys should watch the actual episodes after I talk about this, because this is more of a supplement. These aren't really comprehensive reviews. These aren't really going into every detail, every little thing that happens in the episode, because if I were doing that, we'd be here all day. So I don't really want to waste y'all's time. So I just wanna say, after watching the episodes of Beyblade X Nutshell, you should go over to watch the actual English dub episodes or Japanese dub episodes, depending on which region you are in. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Tune in next time. Goodbye, folks.